Welcome to Nonprofit Profiles. I'm Genevieve. Developing job skills and finding steady employment can seem daunting to anyone, but it's even more difficult for people who face the unique challenges that come with poverty and homelessness. Chrysalis is an organization that provides training and support to help lift people out of poverty by getting jobs. Here to tell us more is Dara Papel, Director of the Chrysalis Center here in Santa Monica. Welcome, Dara.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me about Chrysalis and what the organization does.
So we are a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating a pathway to self-sufficiency through job opportunities. And by doing that, we go through a level of classes and one-on-one case management to really boost a client's marketability and self-esteem so that they can re-enter the workforce.
And how many clients does the organization serve?
We have 400 clients that come into one of our centers on an average day. We've got 3 locations in Santa Monica, downtown, and Pacoima.
And what kind of services will people get if they come into your organization? How do they become marketable for the job market?
Sure. So, a client will come in for an orientation on Monday through Thursday, and they'll get an overview of what type of services that we provide. From there, we will have they'll meet with a case manager, or what we call employment specialists.
Sure.
Where they have an assessment. From there, they go through a series of classes that are all job readiness and job preparation type classes.
So things like resumes, interview skills.
That's something 100% that they gain through going through Chrysalis's program.
And who teaches those classes? Do you have staff? Do you have volunteers? Is it a combination of both?
We rely so heavily on our volunteers who commit their time and their talents to working one-on-one as well as in a group setting, facilitating the classes and helping to build the resumes and doing practice interviews. They really are sort of the bread and butter of how we operate, as well as we do with as many clients as we do each day.
Sure, that's a lot of people to help, so I can imagine volunteers play a big role.
Certainly.
And what does it take to be a client at Chrysalis? Do you have to be homeless? Do you have to be low income? What are the qualifications?
We won't really turn anyone away, which is pretty incredible. It's low barriers. We
That's
ask
great.
for, if a client is housed, that's fantastic. If they're not in housing, that they're at least actively looking toward housing. We know that permanent housing or even shelter can be difficult to attain. So,
sure, there's never enough resources.
Right, it's always a challenge. And then if it's applicable to each of the clients, we ask for them to be 30 days clean and sober.
I see. And do you refer them to other services? So if someone maybe isn't housed, but they need to find out where they can get a shower or how they can get mail or voicemail?
Absolutely. We partner with many different organizations. And, one of the great things about Chrysalis is while we focus solely on employment, we take the whole person into consideration.
Sure.
So if childcare is an issue, or restitution, or sobriety, even if that is an issue, we refer out to our partners because that is what they excel
I would imagine
in.
even sometimes the right kind of clothing that people might need to go on job interviews.
We actually have that in house.
That's
we
wonderful.
have a beautiful resource room filled with all amazing donations of suits and ties and belts and socks and shoes, anything that you can imagine that would be appropriate for an interview.
And you serve both men and women?
Yes.
And all ages? Well,
all
adults.
Ages. Yeah, right, exactly. Working age.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us an overview about what Chrysalis does. I'm really excited to hear from some of your participants about their experiences in working with the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, coming up, we are going to hear about the Women's Empowerment Program at Chrysalis from both a volunteer and a participant. Please stay with us.
I thought I had everything under control. Then, one day, something happened. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know there was help. Until someone told me.
Providing access to justice, the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles can help with domestic violence issues, eviction defense, government benefits, immigration, and other civil legal issues.
Welcome back. With us now are Joanna Bowe and Hetty Toure of the Women's Empowerment Center. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Women's Empowerment, I like that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that program?
Yeah, it's a 9-week program Chrysalis sponsors every spring. It's very volunteer driven with a lot of support from the staff to keep all the logistics moving in place. And about 30 women Chrysalis clients gather every week for 9 weeks with about that many female Chrysalis clients. So it's a real kind of girls' night out working on career skills and life skills. We cover a bunch of topics like interview skills, networking skills, professional dress and etiquette, networking, goal setting, health and wellness, stress relief. And we have
I want to go to that program.
It's really fun.
That sounds really good.
I know. I don't know who likes it more, the women or the Chrysalis clients who are there, who are volunteering. And we have a hot meal together every night, and it's kind of like a nice sisterhood of empowerment on Wednesday nights.
And what's your experience with the program been?
Well, I was a participant, a client with the program, and as she said, it was an exciting 8-week program with the 9th week being the finale dinner at Shutters Hotel. So we had lots of fun.
And did you feel like it helped you to gain some skills and have an easier time getting a job and making your way in the world, so to speak?
Absolutely. You know, at Chrysalis, what they do is provide a core of classes in-house, but what the Women's Empowerment Program did was put some additional meat on those bones. And so it really helped me to build a lot of confidence and self-assurance so that I can get back out there in the business community.
And I have to imagine that there's something special about being just with other women, that maybe there's a level of safety and comfort and familiarity that women can share with each other.
That's absolutely true. I've never been in an environment before where it was just all women. And so to have the sisterhood of the additional clients from the Pacoima Center, the Downtown Center, and the Santa Monica Center, we were able to meet, come together, and just build relationships. And then we had wonderful mentors that came from the business community as well, all women, who really encouraged us and just showered us with lots of energy and positivity.
So Joanna, you're a volunteer with that program, is that right?
Yeah, it's my 4th year.
Wow, and what drew you to it? How did you find out about this?
I actually worked for Chrysalis as an employee back in 2008 and 2009, and there's a big community of Chrysalis alums who just can't stay away. You work there for a bit, but it gets under your skin. So I've since been back there as a volunteer. So I loved being there as an employee and just wanted to get more of it.
And what particular skills do you bring to the program that you can pass on to the women participants?
Yeah, what I love about women's empowerment volunteering is that you get to really foster relationships with the folks there because you do have that connection over 9 weeks. And what's so fun about volunteering at Chrysalis is you get to put professional skills to work. So I work in human resources, so it's a great segue. You know, there to work on interview skills, mock interviews, how to pitch yourself, do's and don'ts.
So you're actually getting some practice and training as well.
Absolutely. I work in also kind of people development skills as well. So I was able to bring some of the trainings that I actually do in my 9 to 5 life out into the programs at Chrysalis as well, like knowing what your personality style is and how that can affect how you interview and work with colleagues on the job too.
And Hetty, did you find that you were able to develop relationships with both the volunteers and the other participants that continued beyond, the 9 weeks that you were together in the program?
Absolutely. I have 2 that I really bonded with. And the mentors were really awesome. Several of them invited me to contact them after the program and provide any additional service or help that I might need. So it was a great opportunity to bond both with the mentors and with the other clients as well.
Sounds wonderful. It sounds like maybe one day you'll be back as a volunteer helping.
I hope so. I really do.
Well, that sounds great. Well, I want to thank you both so much for being on the show and being with us. It sounds like it's been a really great experience for both participants and volunteers in the program. What would you say to maybe encourage other people to get involved and to volunteer?
Well, would say, one, I promise you're going to have a good time doing it. So definitely worth your time. No one's done the program that I'm aware of from the volunteer side who hasn't said it was the best volunteer experience they've ever had. And two, it's just really fun to, not be an anonymous volunteer and get to have the face-to-face interaction and cultivate relationships and leverage skills that you've worked to develop as well. So a lot of bang for your buck for volunteer time.
And what might you say to other women who maybe could benefit from this service?
Well, I definitely encourage them to set aside any fears, any apprehensions, because I had those going in. Because Chrysalis is a place of great warmth, great energy. They've got great resources, services, and the people are just genuine. They're real and very skilled in helping get to where you need to be.
And so people shouldn't be afraid to say, maybe I could use a little help here.
I need a little help, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I really appreciate it. And I think it's a great program, and I hope some of our audience members will get involved, either from a participant side or maybe from the volunteering end.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, in our next segment, we're going to hear about the in-house staffing agency at Chrysalis called Chrysalis Enterprises. We'll be right back, so please stay with us.
Discover 30 years of opera in Santa Monica. Discover the Verdi Chorus.
Welcome back. Rick Stoff is Director of Business Partnerships for Chrysalis Enterprises, and Tracy Salter is a client worker at the in-house staffing agency. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what is Chrysalis Enterprises?
This is the part of Chrysalis that we use to help people get jobs, especially for people that haven't worked in a long time or have some barriers. It's temp jobs, maintenance work, what we call the whole transitional job program, in that you don't just go from having not worked in a long time or been out of work to a 40-hour-a-week job. Sometimes there's steps you have to take to build up your resume, to build up your experience, to get back into it. And so we have people out doing maintenance work. In fact, right here in Santa Monica, you would see people, Chrysalis workers sweeping at the promenade, maybe working in the kitchen at Shutter's Hotel, working at the Santa Monica Pier during the concert, setting up the chairs. These are temp jobs, but they help people get rolling again.
I see. And Tracy, you have experience with being a worker in this program?
Yes, I have. I've been working for Chrysalis for the past 5 months, and what had happened in the situation, I had just got out of prison. And when I got out, the economy had changed. I thought I could just walk in and do applications, but it wasn't like that anymore. They kept telling me I had to go online and do application. But at that point, I was kind of depressed because I didn't have no computer skills. And
it was like a whole new world.
Yes, and what had happened was my parole officer, she put me into a shelter, and what had happened, one of the guys that was going through Chrysalis, he told me, don't be depressed. He said, I'm going to give you this card, go down to Chrysalis. At that point, I called and they made an appointment for me to have an orientation. And when they done the orientation for me, they started setting me up with certain classes. And when they started setting me up with certain classes, one of the classes was computer. They give you basic training with the mouse, with the keyboard, and they helped me get an email. And at that point, in that situation there, it helped me to learn how to log in and everything. And they decided to take me through other classes too, because they got step-by-step classes, and they took me through this one class. First of all, like the one I liked the best was money management. And what happened is it teach you how to save your money and teach you your wants is different from your needs.
Sure.
And what had happened is, since I've been working for Chrysalis, I saved me some money, and I got a credit card and a bank account, and I just bought me a car. I don't have to catch the bus no more.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think those are really important skills because, even for those of us who haven't faced challenges, we don't always learn how to manage our money, and we don't always learn some of the basic things that we need to to get ahead in life. And I think it's great that Chrysalis is providing this for anyone who needs it, really.
You know, people come to us needing different levels of things. There's certainly we're open to everybody, and plenty of people come to us, and we get them counselors. We help them with their resumes. We give them all the tools they need to find jobs on their own, and then certain people need more. And it's nice that we're in a position to do this, and we have a lot of business partners out there, and as in my title, companies in town, especially here in Santa Monica, who are willing to give people a chance to work again and when they need help, and those are the ones we really depend on.
So it sounds like that's really a key piece to this, is those business partnerships.
It really is, because it's pretty hard to find a job out there when you don't have a network. But once you get back in the groove of things, I mean, our philosophy is that if we can help somebody who is maybe just circumstances have come about where a job was lost, a medical bill came up, all of a sudden somebody finds him or herself living in a car. If we can catch this person in and help them get back into the workforce, that's how you change a life. You just reverse the trend of what's going on. And most of the time what somebody needs is just a part-time or temporary job for that to happen. That's what these companies provide for us.
Well, and it's got to be really empowering, because it sounds like what you're doing is really giving people the tools that they need so that they can help themselves. Because I think a lot of people really want to feel like they're in control of their own destiny.
Hand up, hand out, that type of thing. Yes,
yeah,
sure.
It's a hand up.
Yeah.
And is that your experience? Do you like the fact that Chrysalis really made it possible for you to help yourself and not have to depend on other people to help you?
And you know what? Without Chrysalis, there's no telling where I'd be right now. I know one place I'd probably be, and that's either back in prison or dead, because without them,
Okay.
Without them, I don't know where I would be at, because they didn't turn me down. Everybody kept turning me down. So I got on my knees and I prayed and I told the Lord to help me. And the guy gave me that card for Chrysalis. And when he gave me the card, I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to try it. And since then, I've been doing good. I would refer anybody to Chrysalis because they didn't turn me down. And if they can help me, they can help anybody. And and right now they're preparing me to get my own job. Even though I'm working with C&E Chrysalis Enterprise, they want you to continue to seek work to get a better job than what they have you. They don't want to keep you. They just let you be a little puppy. But when you grow, they want you to move on. They want you to go plant somewhere else. You know what I mean? And you open a door for the next person. You know what I mean? My seed is done. When I graduate from them, they want to put the next person in there.
He's too modest. Every job we sent him on, he was great. He worked at the Santa Monica Pier. He's worked at apartments in the Marina del Rey. Now he's working in the Fashion District downtown. He performs everywhere he goes. So the man can do it.
Well, and it's so powerful, and I really appreciate you sharing your story, because I think that for so many people, it's easy to give in to a sense of hopelessness. And it sounds like what Chrysalis is doing is providing that hope. And what you said that really touched me was they didn't turn you down. They didn't turn you away. So I can imagine that someone in your situation might have gotten some no's. Oh, you don't have computer skills, or you've had this, shady background. We don't want to deal with you. And Chrysalis didn't say that to you. They said, no, welcome. Come. Let us help you. And I think that that's really the powerful thing that you're providing. And, here's the evidence right here. It's really amazing.
Yep, and it's we have the capacity, I'm glad to say, and the City of Santa Monica helps us do this as well, to serve a lot of people. So, and our doors are open.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing your story. I really commend you for being willing to let us know how much Chrysalis has meant to you in your life and how it's helped you in your journey. And I wish you all the continued success I can just imagine that you're going to experience with this kind of a support network behind you. I don't think you can do any wrong.
And thank you so much, too, because what had happened is, through Chrysalis, You have your employee specialists, and they say when you can't stand, they say we're going to be here to hold you up. And that's what I count on for my specialists to hold me up, and the directors at Chrysalis. And I'd like to thank all the donors and all the volunteers and all the people that give Chrysalis contracts. I'd like to say thank you to them, and thank you to you also.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope our audience is inspired to get involved.
Thank you.
To find out more about Chrysalis and how you can get involved, visit changelives.org or call 310-401-9400. That's our show for today. Thanks for being with us for this edition of Nonprofit Profiles.